glad you're here. We're going to be talking about the 1,000 years missing between Moses and the Dead Sea Scrolls. And this is wow, because people don't, actually realize the significance of this. The Dead Sea Scrolls, oldest surviving copies of Isaiah, Deuteronomy, Psalms, almost the entire Hebrew Bible. So why is this significant? Why is this significant? You talking about the Dead Sea Scrolls was written between 150 BC to 70 of the Common Era. Okay. Now, Moses supposedly lived between 1300 and 1200 BC. Black power to my family. Do you know how long that is? You talking about over 1,000 years of nothing. They don't have no documentation whatsoever of anything at that time. Okay? They don't have no documentation of anything, no Bible, not one book. So from between Moses and the oldest Hebrew manuscripts, 1,000 years. So we have to figure this out. We have to figure this. How was they able to write the Dead Sea Scrolls? How was they able to write the Dead Sea Scrolls? And then you don't have the original, because we know it ain't no original. We know it ain't no original. We know Moses is fictional. So right there, and so you don't have the original documents. Yeah, you don't break if you don't have no original documents. You see, and then you don't have no from Moses to the Dead Sea Scrolls. How were they able to write the Dead Sea Scrolls? What did they use as a blueprint? What did they use as a blueprint to write the Dead Sea Scroll? That's a fraud. That's a fraud. You got to continue. See, the thing about ancient Egypt, they got carvings, they got original scrolls. You see, they got original scrolls. So you can at least rewrite it. If nothing else, you can rewrite the glyphs and things of that nature. Whether you understand it is another thing. So, at least with ancient Egypt, you got some original literature. But with the Hebrews, you don't have anything. And so people keep talking about that this is the word of God. That this is the word of God. How? How is this the word of God? I want people to explain this to me. How is this the word of God? And, God don't keep records of his work. You see what I'm saying? 1,000 years and you got a gap that wide. You see, of no productivity. No productivity. There's no printing of no Bibles. And that's what I'm talking about. How can, because if the Bible don't exist, the religion don't exist. That's why people keep trying to tell people that, that there's some Hebrew. Ain't no Hebrew. No, because it got to be a book for the religion to exist. So explain to me, if you ain't got no literature from 1300 BC to 250, and that's only one book. That's only one book. Even if you say the Dead Sea Scrolls, that's just one scroll. Those scrolls was hidden in a cave somewhere. They was hidden in a cave somewhere. So explain to me how Hebrewism existed without the Bible, without the Torah. Explain to me how that happened. The only way you know of Adam and Eve, the only way you know of Abraham, the only way you know of Noah, the only way you know of Judah, the only way you know of Isaac and Jacob is the Bible. If you do not have the Bible, how does that religion exist? Okay? And we talking about that. And see, you can't just come up with one book. You have to have mass production. You see, when you go into Egypt, there's mass production of literature. That's just like you go to school. You can't, one book ain't gonna, you can't have one book for 2,000 students. Every student must have their own book. I want to know how the religion, see, we have to understand the religion is a modern religion. It's a modern religion. And really it really don't get off the ground like that. Into the printing press. And people gonna fool you with history and tell you all this, that, and the third. You see, that's not what it is. If they don't have the book, whatever they claiming that is Judaism and all of that, that's not what it is without that book. That's something totally different that they trying to tell you is Judaism. They was into something totally different. That's why when you talk about the Kabbalah, you see, that's the original, that's what they was into. That's why they hold dear to it. They had the Kabbalah and all of that, the Talmud and all of that. They had all of that before the Bible. You see, then they got the Bible. You see what I'm saying? That's why they, them Ashkenazi Jews, they hold deep to the Talmud more so than the Torah. The Talmud is more sacred to them than the Torah. You see? And so even people talking about the Ethiopian. Man, the Ethiopian got their Christianity. We talking about the Ethiopia of the day. They got that, and the other ones too. It don't make no difference. They got that from the Byzantine. They got that from the Byzantines. You see, we're not giving no credit to that. We're not giving no credit that they trying to usurp the indigenous religion that was already in the land. And I done saw them. When you go to Aksum and they see that earlier Nile Valley, they try to say, oh, that's when we was pagans and things of that nature. You see, black power to all my family out there. They disrespect the ancestral culture. They say, oh, yeah, that's when we was pagans. So now, they into the Christian thing and this, that, and the third. They disrespectful of the ancestral. Some of them are very disrespectful to the ancestral way of spirituality and things of that nature. Black power, we in the house. And so it's a fact. Look it up. You could go look it up. You can AI, you can look it up, just and put in there 1,000-year gap between Moses and the Dead Sea Scrolls. What is important about the Dead Sea Scrolls is that they are the oldest manuscripts documenting the Hebrew Bible. And so the question is, if there was nothing for 1,000 years, what did the Dead Sea Scrolls use as a blueprint to write them books? You got to have a blueprint. Okay, you got to have a blueprint. And they have not produced nothing earlier than the Dead Sea Scrolls. So that's almost impossible. It ain't no almost, it's impossible. Those documents that they call the Dead Sea Scrolls are frauds. They're frauds, family. Get with me, family. Look it up, do some research for yourself. I'll be right black. Arm yourself with knowledge. Bang on the Wicked Beast Daily. Liberation. Wait a minute. That's right. You need volumes. And I'm glad you put that in there. And I'm gonna tell you why. Number one, what the Egyptians did, because they had hundreds of thousands of scribes. They could get each scribe, just say you got a college of scribes, and say you got 1,000 scribes, you got 1,000 students. You can get each student to duplicate a scroll. Okay? If you get 1,000 students to duplicate that scroll at least one time, you got 1,000 scrolls. That's mass production. And then so you can take 50 to this temple, you can take 50 to this temple, you can take 50 and have the scribes in those temples do the same thing. Make 50 more. And so you can standardize concepts. The whole nation is moving on the standardized concept. So this is mass literacy. See, you can't have one book and have mass literacy. You have to have mass production of books. Egypt was the only nation in the ancient world that had mass literacy. Period. So the only way that a religion can exist is with mass production of books. You got millions of Bibles today. So the religion is thriving. But without them Bibles, that religion did not exist. So don't let them take you into history talking about way back then it was some Christianity, way back. That's a lie. That religion became what it is with the mass production of books. I'll be back, family. See you soon.